Hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Corolla. In this video, I want to talk about one of my favorite topics, fountain pens, and some of my recommendations for starter pens if you're just starting out, as well as some of the products that I use along with my fountain pens. Now, I'll try to answer some common questions, but if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them, or I'll film a part 2 of this video. Today I'll talk about fountain pens, notebooks, and papers that I use along with them, some of the inks, bottles, samples, and as well as cartridges and converters that I use in my pens. So let's dive right in. Okay, so first I want to talk about some fountain pen friendly paper and notebooks that I've used. The first one is a Rhodia notebook, which is commonly found in arts and crafts supply stores. The paper is thick enough to handle most common inks and markers and watercolor paints without bleeding or ghosting through to the other side. It's a great notebook or notepad to have handy. The second is a Hobonichi notebook. It's 52 GSM, so it's very thin paper. It's a Tomoe River paper and it's double coated, so it can handle fountain pen inks very easily without ghosting or bleeding through either. Personally, I love Hobonichi notebooks for my fountain pens. The third notebook is a Stalogy. Its paper is very similar to Tomoe River paper in Hobonichi in that it's also very thin and it handles fountain pen inks very easily as well without ghosting or bleeding through. So those are my three top recommendations for notebooks and notepads to use with fountain pens, Stalogy, Hobonichi, and Rhodia as well. So personally, I love fountain pen ink bottles because they're just so pretty and they make a great collection. And if I'm being honest, I feel a little sophisticated with my ink bottles, even though I don't have that many. But I would recommend when you're starting out just to stick to one or two bottles, try them out, and you can always get ink samples from different stationery stores. These ones are from Goulet Pens. And that way you can try out different inks without buying a bunch of bottles, which can be expensive. And you can also try out cartridges in your fountain pens. This one is for the Lamy fountain pen, and they come in different colors as well. But if you are going to use bottled ink, then you'll need to pick up a converter depending on the pen that you're using. This one is for the Pilot, and it's a twisty converter. You slot it into the front of the pen and you dip it straight down into your ink and twist the converter at the top until you pull in the ink. And you'll probably pull in some air, which will cause bubbles, and you can just twist it down and twist it back up until the air is gone and the bubbles stop. And yeah, pen is ready to use. So now for the fun part, the pens. If you're an absolute beginner on a budget, I would recommend the Pilot Kakuno. It is lightweight, affordable, bright, and comfortable to hold. It's perfect for kids too, because it comes with a nib that has a little smiley face on it to show you how to hold the pen when you're writing. I personally find this pen super easy to use on a regular basis, so if you're writing every day, this would be a great pen to have. And the Pilot Kukuno is super easy to find. Next up is the Pilot Metropolitan. This is the retro style. It is a metal body, super lightweight, comfortable to use, and also very affordable. If I'm being honest though, I find that the ridge between your fingers when you're writing is a little uncomfortable for me, and it could just be the way that I'm holding the pen, but that's something that I wanted to just point out. Overall, though, I do enjoy using the Pilot Metropolitan, and it looks great. Next up is a pen I've been using for years and years. It's a Lamy Safari, a German brand, super reliable, easy to hold, comfortable grip, plastic body, and it comes with a cartridge, so you can use cartridges, which I actually am using in this pen, or you can use bottled ink with a separate converter as well. I'm using a fine nib on this pen, and I would recommend you trying different sizes of nibs to find one that you like because I find that European fine point is a little broader than a fine point or extra fine point in a Japanese brand. So just something to keep in mind and maybe to experiment with. Next, we have another German brand, the Kaweco Classic Sport. As you can see, it's super portable and handy to have and carry with you. You can get a separate pen clip and clip it to your book. What I will say about this pen though is that the converter is quite small because it is a small pen. It doesn't bother me, but if you use it every day, then you'll find that you'll need to refill it with ink quite often, more often than a regular size pen. But it is very handy to have, and I do find it fun. This nib is a fine point, so it writes pretty similar to the Lamy fine. Last but not least, of the fountain pens that I've tried and would recommend if you're starting out is the TWSBI Echo. It is one of my absolute favorite fountain pens. Even if you have been using them for a while, the TWSBI Echo is a great pen to have in your collection. It uses a piston filler converter, which you twist at the top to fill up with ink. It holds a lot of ink, but unlike the other pens, you cannot use a cartridge with this fountain pen. This one is a fine point nib, which I actually find is finer than a Lamy or a Kaweco, but it is great to write with, comfortable, easy to grip, lightweight, and holds a lot of ink. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy using fountain pens as much as I do. If you have any questions or comments, let me know, and if you enjoyed this video, then remember to like and or subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye!